We've met a couple of times in the last few months, and I appreciate you coming to my riding in North Vancouver at the Pinnacle Hotel and bringing a few of your friends. I talked to you in West Vancouver when you were doing the cross-country tour, and I asked you if you thought that a patient in a hospital who a doctor decides to force treat has charter rights, and you thought they are, and most people think they are, and I had to correct you and say that patients in Canadian hospitals do not have charter rights because of Stephen Harper, his Attorney General, and the Conservative government. So 1 in 5 people in this room do not have charter rights. Do you think that's correct?
Thank you for the question. This is a question about charter rights for patients and rights for patients in general. One of the things we've said in discussions with the Canadian Medical Association and other nurses and doctors is the importance of there being a patient's Bill of Rights in Canada. We have to work with the provinces, but that seems to me a very important step that we need to work towards, and that's why I want to convene a meeting of the First Ministers of Canada within 60 days of winning the election on the 2nd of May, which is to start talking about not only that issue, but home care. The future of health care is going to be in the home. How do we secure and improve home care for Canadians? How do we deal with catastrophic drugs, the escalating cost of drugs for Canadians out of hospitals? And also, how do we guarantee the rights of patients, the rights to be fully informed of treatment, to be fully consulted, to be treated with respect at all times, and the degree to which those rights can be enforced at law. Rights that are just on a piece of paper aren't going to be worth much to patients unless you get real traction for them. So I thank you for your question. Sir.
My name is Pete Lilly. I'm an adult ADHD coach. I have a question for you on ADHD crime in federal prisons. 20 to 45% of prisoners have ADHD. 5% of the population has it. The UK screens. Are you committed to screening federal prisoners for ADHD? And if they have a diagnosis, you get some sort of treatment. So you are housing people, and it costs $101K to keep them in prison.
Tell the audience what ADHD is. So
ADHD is, I call it attention surplus condition, but the clinical term is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Okay. Here's how I would answer the question. We've got a government. What would we do? What would we do about screening federal prisoners for attention deficit disorder? Because it seems to have something to do with why they're in there in the first place. And how do we get it treated? And you're a professional who treats these people or seeks to help them. Right, okay. If you look at the prisoners in a lot of our prisons, a lot of them haven't finished high school, right? A lot of them, let me open a little parenthesis here. When I was in graduate school, I spent every Tuesday night with the Protestant chaplains group talking to young prisoners who were in a medium security institution. And I spent every Tuesday night for 5 years with prisoners. All I can say about it is 2 things. First, I'm utterly unsentimental about prisoners, on the one hand. On the other hand, I've never seen a prison that didn't make people worse. That's the paradox. So, if we do send people to prison, and we must send people to prison, we better do something with them when they're in there. If it's ADHD, if it's high school equivalency, whatever it is, it just seems to me necessary to do that. Otherwise, we're just warehousing human beings and they come out worse than when they came in. Conservative government doesn't understand that. And the other thing they don't understand is if you want to have a crime policy that adds up, you've got to talk about victim services, you've got to talk crime prevention, you have got to talk about effective gun control. You can't get gun control and have a serious crime policy. You've got to talk about addiction services. You've got to talk about mental health. You've got to join this stuff up here. You've got to get serious about crime. You've got to put it all together.